So Keir Starmer is on the first visit to China by a British Prime Minister for some 8 years. During the three-day trip, Keir is trying to unlock trade opportunities for the United Kingdom, and he's been accompanied by around 60 British business and cultural leaders who will meet President Xi Jinping tomorrow. Now, it's thought concerns about China's human rights abuses will be raised. There does, though, remain some tension over the relationship between the two countries, with China the #1 concern for Britain's security services. Our political editor, Chris Mason, has travelled with the Prime Minister and sent this report.
A surprising voice to hear from the cockpit. The Prime Minister's dreams of being a pilot will have to wait. Thankfully, the professionals took charge of that. He's the first British Prime Minister to visit here in 8 years, but he's not alone. The Prime Minister of Canada's just been, so has the French President. China revelling in the reality that it matters. Keir's first appointment, a reception with the British corporate and cultural leaders he's brought along in tow. From HSBC to Table Tennis England, Clifford Chance to the National Galleries of Scotland.
Everything you're doing here, everything I'm doing here, is focused on how do we benefit people at home in the United Kingdom, how do they make ends meet, and therefore in everything we do here in China, it's that we have uppermost in our mind. It's those people that we have in our mind's eye. Of course, we will have to manage our differences, but that's what you do with a mature, consistent, comprehensive and strategic approach.
This is the best bit.
One of the chief executives here, a man who's been exporting bikes to China for well over a decade.
Bluntly, right now, is it easier doing business here in China than it is in Donald Trump's America?
Well, funny enough, I would say it has actually been easier doing business in China
for the last 15 years than it has been doing business in America.
for all sorts of reasons, most of all, clarity and certainty of what you're dealing with.
And it's got even more complicated recently with not quite knowing where we are with our tariffs.
But the Prime Minister's critics see his approach to China as naive, with swirling questions about spying, security and human rights never far away.
Never played Candy Crush. You know, it's with the I use Instagram, and it's actually there are lots of funny things that go on, and you go on it to check a message, and then half an hour later you realise that you've just been looking at memes and things like that. It is designed to be addictive. Adults should be.
Without question, this relationship with China and the worries it provokes has long involved delicate trade-offs and will do for decades to come. What's changed is Sir Keir Starmer's determination to lean into the relationship rather than leaning away. He is now gearing up in the coming hours for his big day, his meeting with President Xi. Chris Mason, BBC News in Beijing.
The US Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, has been making a robust defence of the Trump administration's policy on Venezuela.